What is up, everybody? We're back with Zemoo for his showcase, in a way, of Touhou Makuka. Take it away.
Hey everybody, this is Fantastic Danmaku Festival, or Touhou Makuka is the Japanese name. What I'm going to be doing today is not a speedrun. This is a proper Touhou shmup, so it's kind of on rails, you can't speedrun it. But what I am going to do is a challenge run. So we're going to play on Lunatic, the highest difficulty, and I won't be using bombs. Quick explanation of bombs before I start the run is they work kind of like the TNT in Not Another Needle game. You get to a room you don't like, a section you don't like, you bomb it, you're invincible, you kill everything, and then you move on. It also works on bosses, so if you're ever in like an avoidance, you're like, oh, this is easy except one part, you get to skip that part. We're not doing that. We're doing everything, so that is sort of the challenge. And with that, I'm ready to go. So I'll count down. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we're gonna start off going up here to kill these enemies as they spawn in. This will keep them from shooting bullets, and we will collect their power items faster. The reason we're doing this is, I'm going to stop shooting here. If you look at the bottom left of the screen, there's a bar that fills up whenever I kill an enemy. And I want to fill that bar up at an opportune time, which will be right around here. So I didn't have to collect those items, they just came to me, and that means I'm going to get this laser right now. So the laser is a very strong shot, that's why we're using Patchouli. I will hold down shoot and it will give me a charge shot of some variety. If I'm not focused, it will be a laser. If I'm focused, it will be a fireball. We are basically doing all this manipulation to get this a little earlier, and it makes the next part of the stage faster. So right about here, I'm going to collect again and get to 2 power, and that's going to give me this spread shot. We would not have this if I didn't do that manipulation earlier. I feel like it's lagging a little. Hopefully that goes away. Yeah, the spread shot just kind of lets me annihilate the stages. This is why we're using Patchouli. She's just very overpowered because of this charge shot, which none of the other characters have. Okay. So here we are on the first boss. This game is based off Touhou 6, and this is the only character in this game that is not in Touhou 6. This is Nyx, an original character. She's basically the same character design as Rumia. She's a blonde darkness yokai in a black dress. They just gave her a different name, different hairstyle, and a different dress. This sort of indie group does that with their other games. The second one also has an original character. But other than that, this is kind of just the first boss. Oh, I would like to mention, so this first boss, so this attack is aimed, and as I get pushed to the side, I'm going to switch from lasers to fireballs, and when I get back to the center, I'm going to use lasers. Oh, missed one. Oh, missed it again. Basically, when I'm not dead center with the boss, I'm going to try to use fireballs, and when I'm far away, I'm going to try to use lasers. I'm basically, during all the boss fights, I'm going to have to be aware of where I am, where the boss is, how long I've been charging, and it will make me able to quick kill some of them. It's a lot to consider, but it makes it easier. This shot type is overpowered, but only if you know how to use it. So here we are at this stage 2 section, and it's the best Fangame mechanic, shmup mechanic, not moving. So all these bullets are aimed away from us, and this is sort of a new player trap. Lots of newer players go like, oh, bullets are coming at me, I'll run around and dodge them. But a lot of it is figuring out stuff like that where you can just not move. And it makes it way easier if you take the time to figure that out. So here we are at Daiose. this is a character originally in Touhou 6, but she doesn't have a name in there. Daiose is sort of like a fan-given name. It's just Japanese for giant fairy. Not a creative name, but she's sort of been adopted into the fanon of the series and has been later added to other Touhou games as if she were a real character, like original Touhou games too. For this section, I'm just trying to use my fireballs to kill these blue fairies. They fill up the screen, the rest of the shots are aimed at you, so if I just alternate between two spots, I get to aim all the shots and neatly dodge them. Oh, this lag is killing me. Yes. Stage 2 is hard if you don't have the strats for it, but pretty easy if you do. Especially with Patchy. Patchy makes everything easier. Okay. So this is a character that I'm sure you all know and love, Cherno. I'm going to focus a little bit for the first couple of attacks. They're a bit harder than her others. Ugh. Yikes. So basically Cherno's first two attacks make you move around, or she has the potential to move around a lot, and you don't want to move with Patchy. You want to use your lasers as much as possible, which means camping at the bottom of the screen, so it's fine. Normally I would reset, but this is a marathon run, so you just have to go with it. Not expecting it to be perfect. And if I, for some reason, can't get the 1cc, I can credit feed, so I'll definitely be able to show the whole game, but I practiced a bunch. I hope to be able to 1cc. These last couple of things, you might have been noticing that I hesitate a bit before shooting the first laser, like right here. I hesitate a lot. Not all the bosses are vulnerable right as the fight starts. So I'm basically waiting for the first moment to get a quick kill. You can kill it before the word "take this" appears, for instance. I guess if you know the Camellia 3 in Fluka Fight, there's a lot of runners that have a strat for when to start shooting so your missiles hit the moons as soon as it's ready to be damaged. It's basically that, but for every spell pattern in the game. Stage 3 is one of the more interesting stages to route, but it's basically tap dodging again, but you see me going in this U shape, just using the whole screen. We call this screen control. The enemies shoot bullets where we are, so we're trying to make it so we can keep moving in one direction and make one side of the screen unusable, but then there's like a break and then it becomes usable again. So we're just trying to retain the most optionality, I guess. This is a bit wrong. Okay. So now we're at another not moving strat. Mei-Ling is the boss. She shoots these flowers, and if you just don't move, you can dodge them, wiggle around the yellow one. You can do that with all shot types, but you have to do it at least twice with the others. Patchy's the only one with the damage output to just quick kill it that fast. And Mei-Ling's bullets, Mei-Ling's patterns all have this like circular flower patterns going on, lots of RNG. Alright, you see these enemies are going to shoot these orange explosions. There's a safe spot right under where they start, so I'm going to tap dodge and try to wind up there at the end, so I can just ignore the orange bullets entirely while still dodging the aimed bullets that force me to move around. Right, and that is stage 3, onto the boss. So, earlier I mentioned the whole hesitating thing. With Mei-Ling, I don't do that. Mei-Ling's iframes are so long that it's not worth it to even pay attention to. You just kind of spam lasers, and when she takes or fireballs, and when she takes damage, she takes damage. Like you're usually dodging bullets by the time you would have to release the charge shot, so you can't really pay attention to the health bar or her or anything. This is one of the few patterns where I move around a lot on purpose. Mei Ling follows you around, so you lure her to one side, and then she shoots a bunch of blue bullets on that side, and you rush over to the other, and you don't have to dodge nearly as many. Thought I could get away with a quick kill there, but... oh my goodness, it is lagging like a storm. So yeah, the rest of this is just sort of dodging. A lot of reading going on. I have to like pay attention to dodging multiple waves at once, because like these knives will kind of lock me into place, for instance. A lot of Mei Ling's patterns have that sort of aesthetic where they restrict your movement and then throw some RNG at you. But they're usually pretty okay. Mei Ling's Danmaku is also just very beautiful. Lots of like rainbow flowers and stuff. Just very nice to look at. Not that I can look at it because I have to dodge it, but you on the stream, it's aesthetic. Alright, and this is the final attack. If I do this right, it's going to be tough because I'm lagging a bit and that makes it tough to do the charge shots right, but I can kill her before you see any blue kunai. This attack has like many different stages, but you don't see very many of them at all with Patchy because you just deal so much damage. Like that's where you can notice how much damage Patchy deals, is that spell. Alright, so now we're at stage 4. This is another just don't move. Everything's gonna be fine. I don't even have to shoot, but I shoot because it makes the routing later easier. So this part, we're going to kind of cheese with Patchy. These gems appear, and if they persist long enough on the screen, they shoot bullets. And see how they're shooting bullets up? They shoot bullets down if they stay around long enough. But with Patchy, we just camp out, wait for 4 to spawn, kill them. Like, this is what would happen if I didn't kill them. But if we do a good job killing them, we just kind of don't have to dodge anything. And the other shot types can't do that. They have to pick a side, kill all the crystals on that side, and then just dodge whatever comes from the other side. One of the perks of Patchy. Right, this rest of the stage is kind of just these aim shots. These books are going to shoot bullets, and they're all aimed at you, so if we just don't move till the right time, it's all good. Another sort of new player trap. Just have to learn not to move there. Alright, now we're at mid-boss Sakuya. The next attack is one of the tougher in the game, but we have a route for it. Oh, I missed the laser. This could get hairy. So we're gonna like stop this bullet up there. So one of those bullets stops and then explodes. If you stop it up top, it's not going to explode in your face, and that's better. That's why we go toe-to-toe with her. Also, there's a thing called shotgun damage. A lot of shmups have it. Basically, if you're closer to an enemy, you deal more damage. It's like programmed into the game. We also get to do that. It's sort of an advanced technique that is good. It's good to learn when you can just go right up to an enemy and quickly kill it. The rest of the stage is sort of aim shots, and these blue enemies have the same, like, if I don't kill them fast enough, they do something that's actually scary, but... well, the fairies with wings, I should say. Big wings. Not necessarily just the blue ones. Alright. I went over to grab the star there. The stars are how you get lives in this game. Hopefully I don't need them, but I will die a couple times for sure. My PB is 8 deaths. 5 deaths, rather. Alright, this is Koakuma. This character is like Daiose in that she's like a fan character that showed up in 6, unnamed, and the fans named her. In this game, she has like a Halloween theme to all of her Danmaku. It's nice that they gave her some attention because she's sort of gets left out a bit from this game's cast. This is probably where the game starts getting hard. Stage 4, 5, and 6 bosses are a bit tough. Like, most of the difficulty in this game is in the bosses. The stages are pretty easy once you route them. Okay, Jack the Bomber. This one we're gonna try to go to the side a bunch. Ugh, that was a silly death. But yeah, this pumpkin explodes and we're just trying to get away from the explosion so these bullets fan out a bit more before we have to dodge them. And it shoots some more aim things, so you have to move back into the explosion. Alright, pretty good place for a first death. There'll be more, definitely. Alright, so this, I mentioned earlier, new player traps. This is an experienced player trap. So if I tried to go up for shotgun damage, that scythe would have just killed me. That definitely got me the first time I played this. And afterwards, it's like a trap. You just have to know it's coming, and then it never gets you. But you do have to memorize how everything goes, I guess. These attacks are pretty easy when you have Patchy, because she just quick kills them. Oh, if I can shoot the laser. Alright. Yeah, they're pretty straightforward. Alright, coming into stage 5. I believe this enemy right here that we call the Death Fairy, it's basically one enemy that shoots a lot of bullets, sort of like a mini mid-boss pattern. That's where I got my death in my Deathless PB. The stage is pretty self-explanatory. It's mostly aim shots, and I try to kill the enemies with Patchy before they shoot. I just want to use this moment to point out the sprites in this game. If you look at the enemies, these butlers all have candelabras, and they all shoot the same, like, red aimed bullets. Later in the stage there will be maids that shoot jelly beans, and butlers without candelabras, and they're all going to shoot blue bullets. That's a very nice thing in bullet hell, because, like, most of the visual design is trying to communicate a lot of information to the player at once, so I can know what these enemies are doing before they shoot. So I'm not surprised. I can, like, if I hadn't memorized the whole game, I could start dodging if I was paying attention, you know. And it's very nice of them to do that. And the original Touhou games are sort of lacking in the sprite department. Zemoo basically has used the same sprites since, like, the 90s. And there's very little variation or rhyme or reason. It just kind of has, like, different palette swapped fairies. So it's very nice of the devs to do that and make it easier. Though, in their next game, Fantastic Danmaku Festival 2, they kind of go overboard and it kind of goes the other way. A bit too much going on. Alright, so for this section, I just know where the enemies are coming and can laser them. The first two are too much HP to kill with one laser, so you have to actually let them shoot. Up next is the hardest part of the stage. A bunch of enemies are going to come in low and shoot aimed shots at me. I'm going to have to tap dodge. If you go too fast, you get pushed into the wall, and then you die. If you go too slow, like I did, you get hit by a knife. I thought I had already moved, and I didn't, so I got clipped. But, like I say, it's the toughest part of the stage. It kind of makes sense to die there. It's another spot where you kind of want to make sure your lasers and fireballs don't miss. So here we are at Sakuya. Her motif in this game is magic, as well as her usual time stop. I want to start talking about her second spell card, because it kind of goes by fast sometimes. She's going to span like a grid of lasers on the screen. Not this one, this is the first one. And those lasers are going to show where the knives are going, and then she's going to stop time, and as time starts, she's going to shoot the knives, and you have like a little bit of time to adjust, but you basically will die if you're on a laser. And it kind of reminds me of Gustav's boss patterns, some of them, where you're not like dodging bullets, you're dodging like, you're reading and interpreting an interface, and then dodging that interface. This is another thing that is pretty well done here, because it's only one thing and it's pretty easy to learn, but it's used a lot in the second Fantastic Danmaku Festival, and I think it's a little bit much there. Dude, why? But yeah, Sakuya's nons are all sort of just reading ahead, not getting walled. I didn't get walled, I just didn't read ahead that time, but it happens. Alright, so for this attack, I want to start by going up a little. This will make it so that the bottom part of this cluster of knives is visible. There's a safe spot next to where the knives spawn, and I want to go to the bottommost safe spot because knives are raining down from the top, so I want to be able to stay still for as long as possible. And the bottommost one is good for that, so I go down there. I go up to lure the aimed knives up there. Alright, little note about the time stop mechanic. It is kind of jank. It doesn't work very well with Patchy in particular. If you try to release your charge shot during time stop, or like the lag going between times, it just doesn't come out. So you have to be very careful with that. Alright, 3 death stage 5. Not the best, but not bad. Alright, if there's one thing I wanted to show off, it's my strat for this stage. We're going to go to the top, line up with the G in stage, and go slightly off center. That means we're going to get really close to this guy without hitting him, which means he's going to spawn bullets outside of us, and they're not going to hit us. These enemies shoot aim shots. I missed it because the laser charge shot wouldn't come out. But normally, if we get the fireballs, we can kill the enemies on the side, which lets us go toe-to-toe with the other knight enemy, and also do the same, like, safe spot thing. That's a technique called bullet sealing. Basically, enemies can't spawn bullets on top of you in some games, and some patterns. So if you get close enough to the enemy that the only place they could spawn bullets is on top of you or outside of you, they just won't spawn bullets on you, and you kind of dodge the pattern. Spin around the galaxy once, that's just for swag. You'll see my sprite has disappeared, you can only see the dot. It's sort of a visual challenge for this spell card only. And here are some curving bullets. So yeah, that enemy is invincible till she shoots, so that was Nyx again, by the way. She's invincible till she shoots, so spinning around doesn't lose us any damage or time. Alright, so here we are at the last boss, Remilia. I have a lot of lives, but that doesn't mean much, necessarily. Remilia is really hard. Like I say, all the bosses in this game from like stage 4 onward are really tough, and I could die to basically all their spell cards, and some multiple times. Especially the next spell card, Spear the Gunga. We see the time stop mechanic come back, but it's even weirder. So she's going to stop me, and then basically spawn a laser on top of me. And the trick to this, which is not explained anywhere, is it preserves your momentum from before the time stop. So you have to be moving when she stops time, and if you like hesitate at all or change direction or let go of the button, you will just stop and she will spawn a laser on you. And sometimes just you do everything right and it just eats your input anyway. It's a little jank. Additionally to all the charge shot jankness. So 1 death is really good. I'm super happy about that. I could die 2 or 3 times to that, because you get off route if she kills you. Her nons are pretty explanatory, I guess. They kind of lock you in place and then spam RNG at you. So this pattern, she shoots RNG at you, and you have to dodge it in a way that you can move slowly to tap dodge this after. So you have to like finish dodging it long before it's done. I'm going to turn around, that's bad. Or just keep going, that also works. Alright, Castlevania Break is kind of cheesed with Patchy. Because if you can get back to the middle, Patchy's laser just annihilate Ermilia. She does not have enough HP. The pattern's supposed to like make you move around the screen a bunch, so like it's hard to damage her, but with Patchy, if you just cut back at the right time, you can just stay focused on the center, and lasers are just way too strong. They nerfed this type of attack in the next game, because they realized how strong it was. So this looks intimidating, but it's aimed at you, so you just dodge that, wiggle around bubble bullets, and she dies pretty quick. Okay, so this is the other tough one, Hell's Gate. I can't damage her. This is kind of like an avoidance, I guess, in Fangame terms. We call it a timeout card in the Touhou community. I'm basically just trying to survive while this thing follows me around. These lasers are going to turn on and off to slow down my movement or control it in different ways. She's shooting bullets out from her. Bullets are coming in from the edge of the screen that I have to know roughly when and where they'll be, or else I'll get insta-gibbed. This flower is bursting from the center. And if I go too fast, it messes up the pattern because she gets towards the middle. And if I go too slow, I get walled in. That was not the right way to do that. And at the end, she spams more bullets just to make it a little harder. Deathless to that is, like, amazing. I will take that. So this is the final attack, Armageddon. A lot going on here, but it's actually not that tough. There's these geysers that appear from the bottom. You just have to look for them and stay out of the way, but they restrict your movement. The bats are aimed at you. These small red bullets and these rice bullets are RNG, but you can see where they're spawn and where they go. These big red ball bullets, the like glowy ones, are the worst. They kind of just do whatever they want. They generally drift downward, but they can go back up, they can go to the side, they can follow you. They just have a mind of their own. The main thing is to try to avoid those early, just to see where they're going. And that is Fantastic Danmaku Festival LNB, Lunatic No Bomb. That was way better than I thought it would go.
Those were quite the dodges, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Ooh, glad to be able to show that off and not have to continue.
Excellent job, and those of you watching, stay tuned, because, well, in continuity, after Touhou game, we'll have the World's Tournament, so stick around, and we'll see you in a bit.